I first want to ask, your teammate Cujo is going to be likely one of the finalists for the MVP race. Do you feel like he has had an MVP season?
Yes, he's been great all season long, and yes.
What, if you can explain, what has he done that has impressed you?
One thing is you can always look at numbers. He has great numbers for this season, and the way you see when we play with him on the field, obviously the opponents have to adjust when he's there and puts a lot of focus on him, so that sometimes gives space for our other guys.
And you said you weren't thinking about playing the Red Bulls 3 times until this happened. Now, what is it like playing a team this many times in a row and having just to face each other that often?
Yeah, it's going to be interesting, for sure. Now that we just played them, we kind of have a feeling of what we're going to get, but it's the playoffs, and playoffs are always different. Everyone's going to give a little bit more. But I'm super excited. It's going to be very interesting to play them again and see how we can match up and adjust some things, and also keep going with things that we succeeded with.
Obviously, you've been at this point last season, heading into the playoffs, and we all know how that finished. Is there a different feeling going into this year's playoffs compared to last season?
I mean, going into playoffs are always interesting and excited, because now we've finally narrowed down, and now things get more serious, or they mean more in a way that everyone knows that if you screw up a few times, you're out. So it's super interesting, and no, I just feel good. I'm excited. We go into playoffs. It means a lot, and it's fun games to play. It's what we essentially play for, so it's just gonna be great.
And obviously, Steven's been dealing with an injury. He might be able to come back to the playoffs. Can you just talk about the impact of not having, I know you can have a rotation, but not having a player like Steven for the last few games, and hopefully getting him back to the playoffs?
Yeah, Steven is a player you always want to have available. I mean, he's a great player, and he helps the team in many ways, also ways that you don't always see on the pitch. But we have the roster we have, and who's available is who we're gonna use, and we have a good roster. That's what we've been showing all season long, and also, yeah, that's what we have.
Malte, thanks for being here. There has been recently a lot of talk about how difficult it is for a team to repeat as MLS Cup champs. Haven't had it since 2011, 2012. You were a part of a 21 MLS Cup champ that made it to the semifinals the following year. You're a part of another defending MLS Cup champ that's starting off in the playoffs. What maybe did you observe or learn in that 21-22 campaign with New York City that you can take forward and understand has to be in place in order for Columbus to find themselves with a chance in the last 2 weeks of the playoffs?
One thing that's very important is that we don't think of last year. Last year is gone. We have a new year. We play a little bit different this year. Teams play us different and know us more. So for me, the most important thing is right now having a clean slate. We haven't done anything that we have done doesn't matter. So now that we just have a free mind, enjoy the game, because that's essentially what it's all about, and then approaching the difficulties that will come, and also the good moments in a great way, but with a fresh mind. Mm-hmm. Not thinking that because this or because that we have to, or we are entitled to, or whatever. Just free mind and go and enjoy the game.
Your analytics department here at OHBC actually did a research project, and they showed that after winning an MLS Cup, teams typically drop off by about 9 points in the following season, the subsequent season. You didn't drop off, you actually built on what you had last year. How does that explain what the coaching staff has brought to this group in the evolution of the second year under Wilfried Nancy?
I think it speaks for itself. This year we even had more games as well in other in other tournaments. So yeah, that has to say enough. They're doing an incredible job, and so are we as players, as analytics department, as everyone around the club.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's a privilege to be a part of this, and even after a good year last year, being able to improve and keep being humble and pushing the limits.
I'm sure as a member of the Players Union, you'll have plenty of time to talk about this, but there's now initial discussion that's been shared by the league office about making this league season a fall, winter, spring season. What's your initial reaction to the possibility that everything shifts on the calendar for the league?
I would like that, because that means I would go back home for a summer vacation in my own country.
Because you can't do it really in the winter when you're playing till mid-December, right?
It's not the same.
Uh-huh.
To have a vacation or off season in the winter in my country is different than having it in the summer. As to what it will mean here with the league, I think it could be exciting. I don't know what it's like to play during all the cold months here throughout the States, but I do see it could be a benefit in some ways. But also, I don't know all the downsides of it, because I haven't been in all the states throughout the winter periods.
Sure. Thank you.
Malte, you guys have had many tournaments this year. You mentioned more matches than last year. How has all of that, playing in other knockout matches and things like that, really prepared you guys even more for what's about to start next week?
I hope that we're not used to it, but like we have a feeling of what it's like, having a little bit more butterflies in your stomach, being a little bit more excited of what's to come with these knockout games. So what I hope we've learned from these games, or having a lot of these games, is that we should be able to enjoy it, because no matter what the result will be, the game will go on, we'll have another season, but give everything in that moment and just enjoy that we're actually playing games that means a little bit more than a regular season game.
You guys are clearly loose.
That's good. That shows the first.
Right, exactly. But on that note, you guys just played Red Bulls. Played them very well. How do you not get complacent playing them again to start this tournament?
Well, we had a great game for 80% of the game maybe, but the last 20% of the game shows us that we have to stay very humbled and very disciplined in order to not be able to screw things up in a very short period of time. So there is no doubt for me that everyone's gonna stay very focused, because that 10-15 minutes or whatever it was that they came back in has hurt us all a lot, and was like a great teacher for us to see that even though we think we have the game under control and we do very well, we keep possession, we still can get punished very quickly.
Yeah, in soccer, it's those details.
Correct.
And that's something you guys have really been working on this year. How have you felt that has really gotten you ready to have those moments maybe as you guys get started here?
I think we've seen throughout the season that over the big span of the season, we have had games and moments where we've been able to do the job more fully than we've done before. Like, I think we have more clean sheets this year than we've had last year. I feel we've been way more in control of some games, or maybe some aspects of the game than we've been before. But now, with that being said, we saw last weekend that if you don't keep the discipline all the time, because it doesn't matter with 80% of the time, because the last 20% they scored 2 goals and now it's 2-2.
My last one. Heading into the playoffs, is there more excitement around here? A little bit more juice, a little bit more, all right, here we go, this is it.
Of course. This is the part of the season where it all narrows down, and this is what we've played the first 34 games to be here. So that's a great thing. Now put that aside and let's embrace it, and also enjoy being a part of these special knockout games.
Monday last year, you guys ended the season with Atlanta and ended up having to play Atlanta in the first round. Now this year with Red Bulls, I know you said that you guys don't take, you guys forget about the past, but is there something that you could take away from seeing, Atlanta, end of the season, then going to 3 games with them, and then now with New York?
don't know, because essentially it's gonna be super different. Like, one thing is MLS games, and this is playoff games where the crowd will be different, the teams will bring more energy. So we're gonna play it like it's Red Bull, same as we did last week, knowing what their strengths are and what our strengths are, and then focus on how can we build an even better game than last weekend.
And it seems you guys go by the motto of all together now. What does that motto mean to you and what it means to the rest of the club?
That means that we stick together and help each other, and that is in minute 1 of the game. That is at 9:15 here, if someone needs help at breakfast. So that means whenever we're together, everyone is together and no one's get let down or let out, either on the pitch, on the training pitch, or around the facility when we're together.
The fans have sold out every home game this year. You're going now into the playoffs time, like you said, it means more now. What's your message for the fans coming into this and the meaning for them for you guys for the playoff run?
I'm excited to see all the fans, as we always are. I've said it before, and we'll do everything to create some good moments for them. That's for sure.
Thanks, Molly.
Thank you.
Has Yevon recovered from